It's your girl Jazzy K with Super Tight TV. We want to thank everyone that's been watching. Hey, if you do us a favor and hit that subscribe button, also press the notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video.
You're not tuned into something super tight. Puffin' something sticky, nigga, I roll through the light. Need to hear something real just to get me through the night. I'm looking for them jackets cause I know they looking shy. Know I'ma get some game tuned in with super tight, yeah. I get it all up from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.
Already, baby, what's up with it? What it do? It's your big dog, Bobo Luciano. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in to Super Tight TV. We back, up your back, going smack, 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 just like that. You know what I'm talking about? Today, man, I'm going to tell y'all I'm very excited, very, very excited. I got a bucket list, another bucket list interview going on. I don't want to call it an interview.
It's catch up.
Yeah, I got a family member in the building. I don't like how this mic is. What it look like now?
You good?
I'm good? Okay, now I'm all right. I don't care about that center stuff. I got to get comfortable. But today, my family, I have a very, very close friend, family member that's in the building. Y'all have heard me mention this name several times throughout the process of this platform. And again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and subscribing to the channel. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Hit that little bell so you can get notifications every time we drop a new video. But I don't even know how to introduce this brother. I mean, he wears so many hats. He's one of the forefathers of hip hop in Dallas. I'm gonna tell you that right off the rip. Without him, I don't know where the Metroplex would be, because I was there and witnessed it all. You know what I mean? And I've seen him go on and hit the executive side of things and come back and start his own business within the entertainment industry and do a lot of other things. And so I'm just going to cut to the chase, because this man really, it's hard to introduce him, because, you know, when you know someone like I know this man, I could just go on and on and on, just giving him his flowers. And y'all know I don't like using that term. Flowers are usually for funerals or Valentine's Day. And we are neither one of those right now. You know what I'm talking about? So today, I got my brother in the house.
Yeah.
Representing the Nemesis.
Yeah.
And many, many more things. I got my brother, Mr. Azim Rashid, is in the house.
Yes, sir. What's up, bro?
Man, I'm just chilling. How you doing, brother?
Praise God, I'm good.
Man, you look good.
Amen.
And you know what they say.
Black don't crack.
But we know we people say brown. You see me and him about the same color. Close. Close.
I've been outside.
You been outside? Yeah, I'm yellow hammer. So my wife is not here.
Hate I missed her.
Man, I hate you, mister.
Peace to the queen.
Yeah, man. Jazzy K, you know, we love you, but we got to keep on rolling.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about? So we're going to do it like we always do it. We're going to start off kind of at the beginning. You know what I mean? Kind of, you know, introduce yourself and let my family know where you're from.
Well, originally from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised. I moved to Dallas when I was 14. Finished high school here. Started and finished high school here in Richardson, Berkner High School.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Hamilton Park, Hope Pimp in the building.
Yeah.
And all over North Garland. We lived a lot of places, but Hamilton Park is what we claim.
Mm-hmm.
And went to North Texas.
Yes, sir.
And got in the music business. In between then, was part of the first rap group to put out a rap single, because I think we had a record come out before.
Mm-hmm.
God Bless You, Shay, and the Star Set of Strutters.
Yes.
But the first rap group to put out a record here, and then the first group to get signed to a major label from Dallas, Texas, the group Nemesis.
Yes.
Shout out to the OGs, my man Easy Roxy, Bumblebee, Bilal
Yes.
Hakeem Al Shabazz,
Man.
Suave D,
Yes.
DJ DMD,
Yes.
the whole crew.
Man.
And of course, you know, Nemesis, as the rest of the world knows it, is my pal Big Al, God Bless the Dead.
Yes.
And the coldest DJ producer that I've ever met, DJ Snake.
DJ Snake. So y'all have heard these names several times on the platform. So, and it's not going to end today, because these are my family members.
And
You know what I mean? And I
and,
will
and we'd be
always
remiss because Nemesis has a long legacy. Of course, the Pimp Ron C, Coach Ron C. Now.
oh yeah.
And then Joe Mack the Gangster.
That's right. Can't forget about Joe Mack the Gangster. That's right, baby. I mean, we had so many people behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
It was really a movement.
Yes.
And we're just gonna kick it off like this. You know, I always have my stories. Some of you may have heard me tell this story, but I want Azim to kind of give his side. I'm gonna tell it again. Then I want Azim to give his version of the story. Okay. So you ready, buddy? It's story time. All right.
Do I need a pillow and a blanket?
Yeah. Nighty night. Get you some melatonin.
Right.
But so check this out. So as a kid, growing up in Singing Hills, Oak Cliff, Texas. Oh, excuse me. Oak Cliff, America, as they call it now.
Okay.
I had a best friend. I think my best friend left me around the 3rd grade. His name was Johnny Rogers. Okay, shout out to my brother Johnny Rogers. Fast forward many years later, I'm a freshman in college. I'm at North Texas State University. We're in the most livest dorm that could ever exist.
Kerr Hall.
Known to man. You know what I mean? I never, ever heard of another dorm as exciting as Kerr Hall. But we're in Kerr Hall, which was the athletic dorm, and I don't know what happened to my roommate, but somehow I didn't have a roommate. And I pushed my beds together. I had 2 twin beds, and I pushed them together and made a king-size bed. And I don't know how long I lived like that, but it seemed like forever. But one day walking through the lobby, well, a few times walking through the lobby, you know, I had already seen Johnny Rogers first day of school, first day of the semester, and we had, rekindled our friendship. And I always saw this kid, and I remember he used to have braces.
Forever.
You had one of these, used to wear this little
Kofi?
No, it wasn't no Kofi. It was like a bicycle cap.
Oh yeah.
With the
I
little
remember
flip
the
up.
little slip. Yeah.
Looking like Dwayne Wayne. And so
My Twitter fronts.
but he was rapping all the time. Just rapping. They say, hey man, this guy can rap. And me being a huge fan and supporter of hip hop at that time, I was just in love with it. I mean, I liked it. I was like, man, this dude can rap. I mean, because I couldn't rap. You know what I mean? I always thought, hey, this guy's got talent. And so fast forward, like I said, I can't remember the timeline, but I always saw this kid in the lobby, always, and I didn't know why. And then Johnny Rogers approached me and said, hey, something happened to his room and board, if I remember correctly. And do you mind if he stays in your room with you? And I said, oh, yeah, I don't mind. So he moves in. Come to find out, he is 1/3 of a serious hip-hop group out of Hamilton Park.
Something fresh.
And one day we're talking, and we have mutual friends. You know what I mean? I've already befriended Snake and Big Al, and he's telling me he knows these guys. And I'm like, you don't know him like I know him. That's what I'm thinking. He don't know him like I know him. And so one time, I don't know what, we was on some type of break. And I happened to go to the radio station. And lo and behold, I see this gentleman up at the radio station. And I said, well, what's going on? He said, man, I told you. So next thing you know, there's a song that comes out. Oh, Cliff. Man, there's a place in Dallas known as Oak Cliff where you can tell the Ralph from the Riv. Getting full of them bulls looking for the peak. If you ain't got you got a GT. Yeah, so that really set the city on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And especially since these guys were really not from Oak Cliff, so that's my end of the story because this is not my interview.
Right.
I want Azim to kind of tell his version of what really happened, and if I'm close, and if I've been fugazi in my storytelling.
No. That's your point. And to begin with the ending.
Go ahead.
Oak Cliff was a ode to Oak Cliff, which is our version of Boogie Down Productions, South Bronx.
Okay.
KRS-One and Blastmaster, KRS-One and Scott LaRock, DJ Scott LaRock. So it was our version of that because we were
funny.
all about New York hip hop. But fast forward to going into high school and college, Dr. Rock, who you had on recently. Shout out to Mr. Dr. Rock. I was about to do that thing again.
Which one? Oh yeah, you got his real name? Don't do that. But you know what? He don't care.
Yeah, but shout out to Rock.
Yeah, shout out to Rock. Keep it 100.
I was, not having a car, not having a lot of resources, but listen to the radio every Friday night. I would call into that radio station. It was KXOK. He's calling to the radio station every Friday night, and he finally let me on the air, and I started rapping. And he would come up to Richardson, go to Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
And I became his MC.
Dr. Rock?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, stop it. Let me ask you this. When did you decide to pick up hip hop? How old were you?
12.
12.
Yeah.
When you started writing your first rhymes?
I fell in love with hip hop at 12, Sugar Hill Gang. That was it.
That was it, baby.
And then when I moved to Dallas, I knew that was it. Got here, parents divorced shortly after my dad went back to Ohio, and music became my refuge.
Yeah.
And Run DMC, it's like that. That was like, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I always used to sing. I was in the choir. I wasn't a great singer, but I carry a tune from here to the door.
Yeah.
And just wanted to be a part of music. So and hip hop saved my life. Hip hop changed my life. Hip hop made it possible for me to be here today.
So many brothers it has, and sisters. And so what you're telling me, let me ask you this question. You fell in love with it during about the same time I did, Rapper's Delight. What song was it that just said, maybe I just heard you, was it Run DMC that just said, you know what? Oh,
it's like that. Like Sugar Hill Gang was cool, and I remember being at our 6th grade graduation party and Curtis Blow, the breaks. But when It's Like That came,
yes,
that like Run DMC, that was it. Like if you ask Bumblebee, I was DJ Run.
Yeah, Run was a beast back then, wasn't
Absolutely.
It? Oh my God, he had so much swag back then, but we didn't even know what it was. He had a lot of sauce about him, and mine was Grandmaster Flash.
Yep.
Don't put me caught out. Ooh.
Yeah, all those records, but no, Run.
Yes.
That
was yours.
Yeah, that was it. Just because just the swag, the wordplay, the enthusiasm, and a lot of people. Again, if you know me from back then, and shout out to my homies from Cleveland, a few of them who live here in Dallas, Fort Worth now. I was a nerd.
Yeah.
Scared. Listen, got bullied the whole nine, right? And I always tell people like, moving to Dallas, like, it changed my life in so many ways. One, because when my dad went back to Ohio, I became the man of the house.
You are the man of the house. And you acted like it too. Right?
I had to toughen up quick. I didn't really know anybody. I didn't trust anybody. I got tried a few times, but I had to stand up. And it was funny because when you talk about moving to different places and becoming a different person, I became what I needed to become in order to survive.
Yeah. And I can see that, in hindsight. I didn't know that about it, about you. I did, but hearing you say it now, I can remember those times, and you were looking at Azim, I don't even know if you want to go back to that old name.
Go back to Gino Def?
Yeah, if you looking at
if you know me, you know Gino Def.
Yeah, if you knew Gino Def, you would think, oh, that's just a fun-loving kid. He's, he's a jokester, he's a prankster, just looking at him. But talking to him, it was something completely different. You was on another level as far as adulthood.
Had a lot on my mind, bro.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? We were kids. Yeah. 18, 19 years old in college, and you was the man of the house. Little brother, little sister, and mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you was acting like a grown man. I never could figure that out. I was like, I seem square, man.
And shout out to G, my mother.
Oh, really?
Azim Rashid, because listen, she did the job of two, as a lot of mothers and some fathers have always done. But back then it was kind of a thing. being a single parent, and she gave us everything she had, and she did everything she could. We always, one of her models is you have everything you need to do whatever you need to do.
Yes.
And, she was a hustler, Pops too, but mom, she held it down, for a very long time by herself.
One thing I've always wanted to know, because like I said, I did meet Geno Death, and then when you switched to Azim, was quite, it wasn't too far after that. When did your family pick up the Muslim faith?
So my parents, I was a kid. I was born Muslim. So my father, they converted.
Oh, gotcha.
And so I was born. Me and my siblings were born.
Okay.
They converted.
So I interviewed one of your Hamilton Park alumni. You know him. Shout out to Anwar. Shout out to Naja, the mistress. You know what I mean? But
can't forget about the baby.
Oh God.
Grown woman now, but yeah, the baby.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't blew my mind.
A mother herself.
Really? Shout out. Man, I ain't seen her since she was a baby. Yeah. But Aziz, he spoke highly of your family. I don't know if you saw his interview, but yeah, he spoke highly of your family as far as the black assness in Hamilton Park. He said,
Mom didn't play.
Yeah, he said he learned a lot of his blackness by being at your home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
It's Ramadan and just celebrating everything.
Yeah, mom was on Kwanzaa before everybody else. She had us taking, African history classes. We were true to it. Still are. But back then, when people were just getting into it, especially down south, we were ahead of the curve.
I read it. So, something fresh. How did you meet? Who was the first? Tell me about something fresh. How that group came to be.
So I would go to Hot Wheels, right, and that was the place for anybody from Richardson, Plano, Garland. We would all congregate at Hot Wheels. I was Rock's MC. And probably around 11th grade, whatever, we go to the track meets, and I met Bumblebee at a track meet. And, I was at Berkner High School. So Richardson at that time only had 4 high schools: Berkner, Richardson, Lake Highlands, and J.J. Pierce.
Yeah.
I went to Berkner. Most of the black kids either went to Berkner or Lake Highlands. A few went to Richardson. Very few went to Pierce.
Never heard of it.
Right. And B went to Richardson.
Oh, okay.
And he played ball, but he was rapping. Now, if you don't know Bumblebee, think Kool Moe Dee, big 6'2" brother, pure African blood, as he would say,
aggressive,
and with the voice of thunder.
Yes,
and it was one of the things like the guys who had befriended me at Berkner were like, "Yo, our guy can out rap your guy," and we met at track meet, and we like, you know what? After we both kind of went toe to toe, like we should just be in a group.
Really?
And then he knew Easy Roxy, who went to Hillcrest.
Okay.
And they were friends. And Rock was in another group and called the Chill MCs.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we got together. We tried to kind of formulate like a 4-man group, kind of like a UTFO, whatever. It wasn't really working. Then we called ourselves the Ice Factory.
Who was the 4th member?
Chili B.
Okay.
And he went to Hillcrest with Rock. So Chili B and Rock went to Hillcrest. Me and B were in school in Richardson. And we tried to make that happen for a few months, whatever. Then we formed this big conglomerate. It wasn't a gang, more of a party organization.
Yeah.
It was the Partridge Family and the Brady Bunch. So the Brady Bunch were the fellas, and it was all the, I would say, for lack of a better term, all the cool dudes from Richardson, Berkner, and Lake Highlands.
I remember you telling me about this.
And then the girls were the Partridge Family.
Yeah.
And we would throw parties, and we had DJ DMD, who went Darius Martin, who went to he went to Richardson as well. He was our DJ, and we would throw parties. And that was actually how I got started in the party promoting.
Okay.
And like I said, I dabbled in DJing, but I wasn't a good DJ. But I was good at making sure the deposits were straight, making sure we had security, counting the money, that kind of thing. Fast forward, we became something fresh. And we then started going hanging out at the Skate Rink Shamrock.
Okay.
Going to Pizzazz.
Yeah.
These are all like, y'all got to be like, at least 40 to remember the names of some of these places.
Oh yes, you do.
And that's when Nippy Jones, shout out to Nippy Jones, who we got to get up here,
Got to.
was doing
Thinking about it today.
KNON. And Snake, Big Al, and Castle Number Rock, aka the All Hardy Death Party, were his hip hop DJs.
Okay.
And we started trying to get on with them. We made demos for them, intros, little takes for them, and they took a liking to us. And we kind of got into it with them, became their MCs. And so I left rock to go with something fresh.
Ooh.
And that's and let DLC, he can give you probably the full backstory, and Rock can too, but somewhere between, because Dr. Rock and our Death Party did not like each other.
Oh, you know I know.
So when I went with them, and we went that way, DLC and the Feel the Fresh crew wound up with
Stepped
Rock.
in.
Yeah.
Okay. See, you telling me something I never ever knew.
Like and Rock at that, I lived with Rock. When we stay at his house, we used to be on the road. God bless the dead. L.A. Dre was dating a friend of ours up in Hamilton Park. Like I was with him,
Bro,
Yeah.
I did not know any of this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I heard a story, maybe it's untrue, you can correct me. Was there ever some type of contest at Pizzazz that y'all were involved in?
No, that was a Shamrock.
It was at Shamrock.
That was a battle. It was Feel the Fresh crew versus Something Fresh.
Oh.
Yeah.
And was Something Fresh affiliated with,
All Hardy.
so y'all were already at All Hardy?
Yeah, it was us.
Okay, so let me tell you what I had heard.
Yeah.
I heard that Something Fresh came to Oak Cliff to Pizzazz.
We used to go all the time. Yeah.
Y'all won some type of contest. I don't know if it was the prize was studio time or whatever with Snake and I don't know. But that's what I heard, that y'all won that contest, and that's how y'all got with All Hardy Death Party. So that's,
It could be possible. I mean, we used to go to Pizzazz all the time.
oh yeah,
But
who didn't?
right. But the crux of it is us getting with them was definitely a pursuit, trying to get down with All Hardy,
Okay.
trying to be on the radio.
Yes.
And once they, because Snake is Mr. Meticulous, and
Boy.
can they really rap on these North Side guys? Who are these guys? They ain't hot, fool.
Damn.
And when he saw we could really bust, he was like, all right, let's go.
Already. I can see him. I can see a young Snake was
Oh, man,
venomous.
come on now. Come on now.
Ooh, a young Snake was something else,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I love him. Love my brother.
Mhm.
So, do you remember the studio session for Oak Cliff?
In Granbury, Texas. Yes, I do.
Y'all went to Granbury?
But before Granbury, we actually cut the record in Snake, Al, and Cass had a townhouse in Irving.
I remember.
Was it Carpenter Road, I think it was?
No, they lived off a Beltline, remember?
They
Beltline
lived all
way
over,
down.
but they
Yes.
used to hop around a little bit. But we cut the record in the garage.
Mm.
And once they played it on the radio show,
Yes.
and it started getting some traction, Form Get Off Me Records, I want to say we had an investor. It might have just been Rich, God bless Ken.
Oh, yes.
It might have just been them. But some kind of way we formed Get Off Me Records,
I remember that.
and we actually cut the actual single version that came out on vinyl in Granbury.
Granbury. Okay, so y'all didn't go down industrial. Okay.
Well, no, A&R, that's when we pressed it up.
That's where we
But
pressed-
the
okay.
studio was in Granbury.
Why'd y'all go way there?
No clue, bro.
I mean, wasn't what was the name of the place? Good Night?
No, Good Night, that's in Dallas.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But Good Night was what Kerry was, right?
Mhm.
What was the other one called? Dallas
Sound
Planet,
Lab.
No, Planet Dallas.
Planet Dallas, Good Night, and Sound Lab were the three studios we worked out of.
Yes,
as Nemesis.
yes. Yeah, you guys were the first person I ever went to a studio session with. I knew nothing about studio work.
Mhm.
So tell me about that studio session.
Bro, it's a blur. That was 40 years ago, damn near.
I mean, but bro, this is like,
I was 18,
oh yeah, but this is the start of it all.
You know what?
Did you write your rhymes beforehand?
Absolutely. We definitely were writers. I mean, B was the most meticulous writer in the group and would push us to, like, his use of metaphor, any English word you can think of, for command of the language,
Yes.
alliteration, metaphor, hyperbole. B was on it.
Yes.
And he would push
At a young
us
age.
at 17 years old,
Yes.
18 years old. Mind you, he's a football player too.
Not a dumb jock.
Right. And he would push us to read. He would push us to expand our vocabulary. He would push us to articulate in a way that we made up the words unborn.
Yes.
Right? When I said we made up our meaning for unborn.
Okay.
Meaning sick. Like this has never happened before.
Oh yeah.
I'm the unborn sleeping fetus. Like
Man, that's my favorite line.
and you look at it like, he the what?
Oh yes.
And like most cats was rapping to get girls. We was rapping to dominate hip hop.
Let me explain something to y'all. To those who have followed this platform, I've mentioned 2 MCs that just really blew my mind. Outside of Azim, because I was watching his growth from. I mean, damn, he was in the room with me. You know what I'm saying? So, but once I got to know these fellas, it was 2 MCs in Dallas that I just thought was incredible, and that was Bumblebee. I never seen anything like Bumblebee in my life. And then when y'all introduced me to K. Cole, I thought those were just, we had something like New York.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had 2 guys that could compete with what they were doing in New York. And I just knew, I said, oh yeah, Dallas got something. And they were, and they still are talented to this day.
Absolutely.
So I just had to put that little footnote in.
And what's funny about that, like when you look at the group of MCs that was around us, right? You know who, Willie Fresh, all those guys, right? Like the Something Fresh, Nemesis, All Hardy That Party thing, like B was probably MC number 1, right? I will put myself as a writer, 1 or 2 with him, but as an actual lyricist, like actually being a spit, 1, I had braces, so I couldn't articulate anything. Yeah. Like they used to drive Snake crazy. Like, gotta do it again. Z, we can't hear you. Pronounce your words. But I was very wordy, still am. Thank God for Grammarly, right? K. Cole just had this melodic, smooth flow, right?
Yes.
AC was just an attack rabbit. That.
Shout out AC, baby.
You know who was our Houdini, right?
They were.
Willie Fresh and his crew, they were like Ace Clan. So I mean, like we had versions of New York, and we were Run DMC.
Okay.
With an extra MC because it was me, Rock, and B. And we didn't fear anybody, and literally like it was just that, you know. So from a standpoint of just being lyricists, like that's what we live to do, and you know we have to credit Snake and Al and Kaz for driving us crazy, but in a good way because they demanded excellence because they're like, listen, we're gonna be opening up and competing with all these guys from New York and LA. They need to know when they leave here who we are.
Exactly.
So we were like one of the first crews to actually bring shows so we could open up.
Yes.
It was
All Hardy Del Party was way ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time. They were, getting records from downstairs regularly. They fly up to New York or they have them shipped. The original record pool guys.
I was about to say the first time I ever heard the word record pool was through Snake and Al.
Yeah. So they did a lot to just and that for them was out of the tutelage of Uche.
Yes.
They did a lot to just bring a real hip hop presence to Dallas. So when you got off the plane, they don't know nothing about hip hop, and then you come to the party, you're like, oh snap, they got it.
They really.
And whether it was New York or LA or Miami and Atlanta, which had scenes at the same time. So it was a lot, man.
And something Snake also incorporated. You had to be there to see it on the radio and at the parties. I've never seen anybody bring that drum machine.
Yeah.
But DJ Snake. And he would Snake beats.
Yeah.
And mix them in with the records like it was a record, and he was just incredible, ahead of his time, especially for a young guy like me.
People don't know Snake's an actual drummer. He's a musician.
Yes. There's a video of him out with within the last year or so. Kicking the set recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he was out there with K-Max somewhere.
Okay.
And he jumped on the set and started kicking it. I guess it's like riding the bike to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to my brother DJ Snake. Don DJ Snake Brown.
And I thought we weren't doing it.
Well, that's what he go on.
Don Beasy? Okay.
Yeah, well, he's on Facebook. Okay. So we're gonna speed it up. I want to go to like the business side of it.
Yeah. Let me say this though, publicly, low. So coming from humble beginnings, having a challenging family background, especially from a financial situation, like to have a cat to just see you in the lobby and on a referral. Shout out to Johnny Rogers too. We went to high school together. But to have you let me just stay in your dorm room, like that was probably the and I told you this recently, privately, but that was like the strongest act of kindness that anybody had ever shown me at that point in my life.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
And it changed my life because, now as you know, I do a lot of work with North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I went back, part of the Alumni Association. I actually spoke at the school today, and I tell people that I have an emotional attachment to the school because it changed my life. Like I'm a first generation college student, so graduate.
Yes.
And now all my brothers and sisters have degrees.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So
a strong woman.
Listen, mama didn't play. Talked on the way over here
already.
But
you told you was coming to see me?
Absolutely.
Already.
Shout out, doing in Fort Worth. Fort Worth.
He's safe.
We ain't gonna say what she said about Fort Worth. No disrespect.
No. Funky time,
right?
Already.
But the point I'm making is that what you did, barely knowing me, just knowing my name, that was deep and that was different, and it changed my life. And it was only for a couple months. So the first semester I didn't have enough money to stay in school.
Yeah.
The second semester I was too busy making records.
Yeah. And I got my ass back home to Dallas because I'm out there not even knowing how to get up on time to go to class. You know what I'm saying? Academic probation lab. No, I think I made it the whole first year.
Yeah, you made the first year.
Yeah, I made it the first year.
The second semester. So the first semester, when I came to live with you mid-semester, I didn't have no money, but it was room and board. It was class. So I'm like, I can find somewhere to sleep, but I got to pay for the classes.
Oh yeah.
But second semester, we were actually making Oak Cliff. We had formed something fresh with All Hardy, and I actually got my classes calibrated. So I was only in school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Snake and B and Rock would drive me to Denton.
Oh, so you wasn't even on campus anymore?
Wasn't even on campus. We had the dorm room. I was in the room.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there because we would live with them in Irving. And so I would do classes. I had like 8 o'clock classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They would sleep in the room. And when I get done with class, we would go back to Dallas, and I'd stay with them from Thursday night to Monday night.
The times.
Uh-huh.
Bro, you bring back so many memories. I'm glad you're here because you're bringing back stuff that everybody say I have a memory like an elephant.
And I'm saying, listen. We're going to have to chop this up. We're going to have to recut this, but we're going to keep going because we're going to find some good stuff in here. This is going to be a two-parter.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Y'all heard that? I like getting them on tape. So
it's going to be a two-parter. We're going to have to cut this one
because it's too many. It's too much.
It's too much, yeah.
It's way too much.
It's a lot of history. Now you got me thinking. It's like,
ain't it crazy?
Yeah, dude.
It is crazy because when people say, "Bobo, you did this and did that and did," I'm like, really? You know what I'm saying? But then when you start thinking about it, we was unborn, sleeping fetus. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning, the embryo is what I like to call it. And man, so let's talk about Ernie Phillips and Kim Bahari.
So Ernie, to know the story, so we didn't really get into what I'm currently doing now. I don't know how you do this. You put the bio up, whatever. But post Nemesis, went back to college, graduated, got into the record business as an executive, and spent the last 25 years working in Universal, Sony, and Warner Music. Yeah, one of those companies over the last 25 years, and then recently just went on my own and doing my own thing. Before that. Once we started our record company, Barry Gordy was my hero.
Now you left when you first went out on your own.
Well, this is before that. I'm saying we'll get to that.
Oh, really?
So Barry Gordy was my hero. Russell Simmons, my hero, and Andre Harrell. Andre Harrell was my hero. Remember the record AM PM on Profile? Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yes.
Andre, which I was a nerd. I used to read everything. Andre had went back to school, got his degree, then got a record deal, then started Uptown Records. So as I'm looking at my life, I'm like, that's who I'm going to be.
Okay.
So Rich and Ken because they were the managers managing All Hardy. I was managing Nemesis. Like when we formed Nemesis outside of All Hardy, because we went from Something Fresh to Nemesis. Long story, we deal with that later. But we went from Something Fresh to Nemesis. I was doing all the business. So following the copyrights, booking studio time, getting the business cards, all that stuff. So I kind of had this business acumen anyway. Like I'm walking around with a briefcase, but I'm also rapping.
Yep.
Like I got an old photo. We all got on suits.
You got a briefcase.
I get a briefcase in my hand, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know whether we were Houdini or UTFO or who we gonna be, right?
A little bit of gangster.
Right, a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody had a little 25s. You remember that?
So, dude, crazy. So, once we collectively came back to be Nemesis, you know, Al was like, okay, well, you're going to work with Rich and Ken and make sure all the business is straight.
Already.
So we were collectively doing this. I had a background in retail because I worked at Hastings Records.
Okay.
And when we weren't working, I would go work. When we weren't doing Nemesis stuff, I would go to the record store and work.
Okay.
So I was learning distribution and retail. And so once we had pressed up all the records, I was going around literally in my car. Thank you, Ron C.
Already.
My hoopty, 89 Grand Prix. And
Out the trunk.
going around 79 Grand Prix, I'm sorry. And we would deliver CDs and vinyl and cassettes to the record stores.
Consignment?
Consignment, yeah.
Okay.
Give them 10, give me $100. $10 a pop. They sell them for 15. At the point that we had started to not be able to meet our supply, a guy named Noble Wumble, shout out to Noble, I think he's in Mississippi or Louisiana now, promoter for Big State Distributors. Like, who are these guys selling these records? He called Katrina Scoggins and Mark Copeland from Hastings. And I worked for both of them. I worked for Mark at one store. I worked for Katrina at the other store. Who are these guys, Nemesis and Ron C? How they selling these records? What's going on? Pulled us in, brought us to Big State, and said, hey, listen, I think I can get you a record deal. I need y'all to meet somebody. In comes Ernie Phillips.
Okay.
Ernie Phillips is a big-time promoter. Anything on Atlantic Records in the 70s and 80s, he promoted it. He had a business partner, Ken Bahari, from Canada.
Yeah.
Brought them together. And so he said, listen, I can put you guys with Sleeping Bag, Tommy Boy, whatever, or Profile. You know, we saw Profile. What did we see?
Run DMC.
Run DMC. We're like, Profile, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
But we refused to do the deal unless we would to take both Nemesis and Ron C. And Profile was the only label willing to take both groups.
See, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
You're educating me. See, you have to realize back then, Bobo was just a roadie. You know what I mean? I was a fly on the wall. I wasn't
Soaking up the game.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about being in the music industry at all. You know what I mean? I was just throwing my own parties, you remember? Romeo's. But yeah, so just a side note.
Yeah. So Ernie became our manager. That was a condition of the getting the deal. And he taught me a lot about the business. Like he would let me sit in his office and listen to him promoting records.
Yeah.
That's how I learned the independent promotion game from him. You know. I was a spokesperson with the group. And by then we went through all the metamorphosis. So now it was just me, Snake Al, and Rich. And so Ernie was very
How old were we then, you think?
So freshman year, so 21.
So I'm gonna draw this picture for y'all, so y'all kind of bring this to today's time, or recent times. We were so young, and like I said, I wasn't even thinking. These guys were a lot more savvy than I was when it came to music industry things. But the first time they took me in, I think it was off of Alpha.
Alpha Road, yeah.
Yeah, took me to Ernie Phillips and Kim Bahari's office. The feeling I got, if you remember the movie NWA, when Eazy-E met Jerry Heller, and he walked in, and he had all those pictures of all these old famous legendary acts.
Wall to wall, floor to
Wall
ceiling.
to wall. I said, who are these guys? And the office was plush. It wasn't nothing like we had seen. First of all, Oak Cliff Cat. See, they're from North Dallas. So Oak Cliff Cat, we out here by the Galleria. You know what I'm saying? That's special enough. You know what I mean? And to walk into this office, it was like, ooh, pristine. So I'm just drawing a picture for y'all so y'all can see 18, 19, 20-year-old kid. It's like I'm in the CEO of a major record label because I'm seeing, I don't know if there were plaques, but he had,
gold and platinum packs.
Yes.
Floor to ceiling throughout the whole 4 offices.
Beautiful, beautiful setup. So my mind was blown.
Yeah.
So continue.
Ernie's still around, but we talk on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
How's Kim?
Kim and I talk on Facebook as well.
That's good. That's good.
He owes me a call. Kim Bahari, you know why I'm calling.
And I'm gonna tell you something that I've realized, and I told Snake this. He didn't even know this. I realized this last year, leaving the Donnie Houston show on the way back to Dallas. I'm watching the Ghetto Boys podcast, and Mac is on there.
Wow.
You know who that is?
Yeah. Who?
That's the little boy Mac that used to be down with Ernie and Kim. You remember they had
rap,
the
little kid.
That's who that is.
Wow, that's funny. Yo Records.
Yo Records. I called Snake with that. He said, "No way."
Hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Ernie was ahead of his time.
Ahead of his time. So Mac from No Limit is the same Mac that was down with Yo Records as a little boy. So he was already seasoned as an artist. So Ernie and Kim Bahari, they started, they were very important. Didn't they start Midwest Records?
Midwest Records and Yo Records. And that's how I kind of learned the business from a corporate side.
Yes.
And, when I transitioned out of Nemesis, like Ernie was like, listen, what you want to do? So I'm going to go back to school. I said, all right. Put me on the phone with Corey Robbins. Corey said, listen, you're going to have a future in this business. And
And the rest is history.
Rest is history, as they say.
So from my point of view, this is what I saw. This is what I heard. I'm in Port Arthur. Next thing you know, I start hearing, of course, you going back to college. I was like, oh, I ain't going back to school. But when you finished or during that time, I did hear the Barry Gordy in Motown. Was there ever a venture that you decided to go work for one of your idols?
Well, Barry was chairman emeritus at that point. The chairman of Motown when I was there was Gerald Busby. Jesus.
Gerald Busby.
God bless, man. I'm sorry, Uncle Gerald. Who I met only a few times, and whenever I met him, but he was so charismatic and so cool. But I got introduced to Motown through a gentleman named Mike Kelly.
Okay.
And I met Mike Kelly through the radio station because I was working for a young lady named Helen Little.
Okay.
So when I was in college, I went to college, right? I went back to school. I had 2 jobs, had an internship.
I didn't even see you no more.
I did everything, right? And so working for Helen and Tom Calicochi at 100.3 Gems, Russ Parr, Fridas, White Gary, Nick at Night, Spud, that was the crew back then. That was Keith Solis. That's who was at the station. Interning, then became board op, then became Friday night jock, right? Like late nights, overnights, like get 1 break per hour for 4 hours. That was it. Okay. Then I ran the Wendy Williams and Benny Brown show. Met Mike. Mike was Queen Latifah just signed. This was the more music, no rap on the radio days.
Yes.
Mike's like, hey, listen, you seem like a good cat. What do you know about hip hop? Whatever. I'm like, oh, I am hip hop. He's like, yeah,
I lived it.
I am rap, right?
Yeah.
He said, you want to try to help me get this record on? And Helen was teaching me about programming. And she basically said, listen, I love the song, but what am I going to take off the radio to put this on? I was like, we'll figure it out. Anyway, record gets on. Mike says, I like your swag. Seem like a nice kid. Would you like to work in Motown? I'm like, do I want to work in Motown? Where do I sign?
For real.
Like, how can I be down?
So where did you have to move?
So this is what happened. The program director now at the station was like, you got to make a decision. You want to do radio or you want to do records? He literally said to me, if you think you'll be a record rep in the next 2 years, go ahead. I said, okay, cool. I quit. Went to work in Motown. A year later, I walked in as the rep. When I got to Motown, I was working street team for Mad Sounds, which was the rap label for Mercury Records, worked Black Sheep.
Yeah. Dress.
Absolutely. And just learned everything from Mike. Okay. And Mike taught me about being a professional. Mike taught me about listening. Mike taught me about anticipating needs. I honest days work for honest days pay, right? Being a man of your word. Don't worry about nobody else. Do your thing. Don't worry about the money. It's going to come.
Already.
And Mike decides to go to New York to work for Sylvia Run at Elektra Records. Here I am, fresh out of college. I'm working on the national mix-up team with Mercury Records, which is part of the Polygram building, which Motown was in, and still assisting Mike until he leaves. Michael Johnson, who was the VP at the time at Mercury, met him. He's like, hey, listen, I got an opportunity for you. What you want? I said, yeah. So I did that. So I had a job with him when I got out of school. Did that for 3 months. Mike leaves. Mike Kelly leaves and goes to work for Sylvia. I interviewed with James Cochran, who works for Gerald Busby, get the Motown job.
And you had to move where?
I stayed in Dallas for 2 years.
Okay.
Stayed in Dallas for 2 years. Gerald left. Andre Harrell took over. Met him through Clark Kent, who was a friend back in the day. You know Clark, our relationship.
Oh, yes.
And about a year in, I just, you know what? I got the itch. The opportunity came at MCA Records, which is now, you know, Universal Republic. And I moved to New York.
So New York was your first stop from Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
So what was the biggest record that you think you worked when you were there?
At Motown? Water Runs Dry, Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. Already.
Yeah.
So I've spoken with you over the years, and the names you, I ain't gonna say, I hate to use the word drop, but the names you give, you've been around some acts. I mean, Mary J. Blige.
I mean, just going at Motown, I worked probably Stevie's most successful album of the last quarter century.
Stevie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was his swan song on Motown when I was there. Diana Ross, Temptations, Boys to Men, Bipton's 702, Subway, Get to MCA. This is Love Is All You Need, Mary J. Blige with Nas. First, when I walk in the door, New Edition, the Coming Home album, which was, you know, all six, the reunion album, basically. Jesse Powell, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, The Common, The Roots, Jizza, Shantae Moore. Gave Shantae Moore biggest record. Shantae's Got a Man. And all this is.
Oh, yeah.
So part of that team that did that, my good friend, frat brother Troy Marshall, my other mentor and good friend Benny Pugh, a lot of guys, Tim, like that group of executives, Hank Shockley from the Bomb Squad, Steve Corbin, Randy Jackson from American Idol.
Yes.
Like the crew, Marilyn Bachelor, shout out to the Reverend who married me actually. That crew of executives, Ashley Fox, that crew of executives at MCA, that group of artists at MCA, with Mary being the top of the most contemporary, rivals any era that since I've been in the business for 30 years.
Already. So when you work those projects, just for reference, for
Context.
a little young kid maybe aspiring to get into the music industry, and you know, some people get fanned out. You get to meet most of these artists, right?
Yeah.
Or most of all of them.
Carry their bags, buy their lunch.
How do you keep a level head?
I mean, to your point about knowing me as Gino Duff and knowing me, the kid from Cleveland, I was always about the bit. I mean, for a lot of years, people thought I was a jerk and just mean, and I was like, I wasn't a fan. One, having been an artist, right? Like I get what the work is.
Yep.
So I know this is a job. Two, I'm trying to get to the next place. Like you might remember this. When I had my going away party, there are people that told me I'd be back in Dallas in 6 years. I ain't been back in 30.
No, you left. You left.
But the point I'm making is that I, through the grace of God, was on a mission.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I wanted to be the best as fast as I could.
The stories I heard, well, you had a hell of a run.
Listen.
You still running.
Yeah. But no, listen, the game's been good to me. I've worked with some of the most amazing, incredible artists, some of the top executives. I've learned from all of them. Listen, peaks and valleys come, but I'm still standing.
Yes.
And you got to go through the lows to get to the highs.
Ebbs and flows, baby.
Right. And but just the opportunities that I've been afforded, man, we always talk about who you are, right? Character. And listen, I'm fallible as they come. Made more mistakes than I care to talk about.
But you learn from them.
But what I always wanted, and this is something that Mike instilled in me, was that when people speak my name, like me, love me, or hate me, when they say, but what about the work?
Yes. Oh, he gonna get it done.
That's what I want.
Yes.
And like I said, I don't think I had any enemies per se, but I definitely have had fallouts, disagreements, times where we don't like each other, right? But there's not a person on earth who can say, I don't put in that work.
That's what I'm saying. Well, we from that era.
Right.
I mean, we had to work. You know what I mean? Well, if you were a real man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So 2 more questions about the music industry. Because we could go on and on and on about your illustrious career.
That was just the first half. We didn't get to the back end where, Wiz Khalifa and Plies and Pleasure P.
Stop. We're going to say that for part 2.
Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Y'all heard that?
Diddy.
Y'all heard that? That's where we're going. Stop right there. Diddy.
Mr. Combs.
Mr. Combs.
Love.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
The man.
Love. You had a stint. Was it with Bad Boy?
Mm-hmm. Bad Boy Atlantic.
Talk about that.
So when I went to Atlantic, Warner Music, they started a division called Special Ops. And Special Ops would be called the modern services business, where you don't have your own team, you hire out.
Okay.
And so
Contract
Warner,
label like?
Contract, but what it is Warner, and this is Leo Cohen, Julie Greenwald, Mike Kaiser, Kevin Lau, shout out to them. They had a vision that they wanted to provide services for people who didn't have their own teams. Puff was a brain. He's a genius.
Yeah.
But he needed help marketing. He needed other people, that he didn't hire.
Yeah.
He's an A&R guy. Asylum Records, Todd Moskowitz, Joey Manda at the time, same thing. A&R guys. So they needed a support system to help them, specifically in promotion.
Okay.
Which is my background. But the way I was raised in Motown, we do everything. So promotion is my title, which is part of marketing, but I'm a marketer.
Okay.
And so from the promo tour to buying the radio spots to putting together itineraries to getting the record on the radio, logistics, all of that was us. In conjunction with Bad Boy's team and in conjunction with Asylum's team.
Yeah.
Working under the Warner Music Group umbrella, reporting into Atlantic Records.
Okay.
The rebirth of Bad Boy at Atlantic.
You were there for that.
Young Jock, Day 26, Danity Kane, B5, and of course, Puff and Press Play. One of the best albums ever.
Yes, yes.
Shout out to Sean Perez, Henrock, Gwen Niles.
Damn, Azim.
Jason Wiley, Frat. Just the crew. Hard Pierre, Joe Hooker.
Yeah.
Puff's right hand man.
That's your boy.
We was hot. Mel Smith, the legendary Mel Smith.
How far did you go up in that company?
Senior vice president.
So you hear now? That's what I want you to say.
Yeah, I came in as a vice president and left as a senior vice president, general manager of ADA Urban. And what's funny, Kevin Lyles, when he hired me, said, "Listen, you can be the president of Janet. You just got to go to work."
Yeah, results.
That's it.
It's all about results. That's what people don't understand. Titles really mean nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have that.
Titles for the outside.
Yes, that's it. For the resume.
Yeah, titles for the resume for the outside. It's about the work.
You got to get the work done. I mean, faith without works is dead. Dead. So I mean, for you youngsters out there, my dad, I used to think he was crazy the way he worked me. But that work that he did put on me as a child, it gave me my work ethic as an adult. You know what I mean? I can't sleep now because when I know I have something to do.
Well, you gotta learn, and that's what happens with age and wisdom.
Yes,
the balance. But when you in your 20s and 30s, you trying to get it. Early 40s, trying to make it. It isn't until you learn the value of what money is supposed to do. We have a whole. I can go on about this, but a whole miseducation about money. Money is supposed to provide you the resources and the time to do the things you want to do.
Yes,
it's a tool. It's not something to be marveled and not something to be coveted.
Exactly.
It's a tool.
That's right.
But most people don't use it that way.
I know it. They use it to run their lives. Damn. I remember one time that we spoke, and you said, Bobo, we were talking about the death of Pimp C. This is a UGK
R.I.P. Pimp
alumni podcast.
Shout out to Bun.
Yeah, shout out to my brother Bun.
The brother Bun.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of.
Man, isn't he doing it?
Bruh, he inspires me every day, bro.
Intelligent brother.
To get to get Bun, to get a text from Bun, you know it's gonna be positive. First of all,
yeah.
Second of all, it's a hustle in that call. What you doing? Where you going? What we doing? I'm here. There. Where you? I'm like thinking he across the street. Bun is in another country.
Oh
like.
yeah, gumballing it.
He got the phone where it don't ring international.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can't reach out to me.
No. You can reach him, but it like normally you
Yes.
No, his phone when you call him, he overseas, it just rings.
Rings regular.
I'm like, what do you do that at?
Bun B.
Yeah.
UGK.
Red boy.
Ansel Jennings. The real good brother, bro. Matter of fact, shout out, congratulations on.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ooh.
Top 50. Come on, King.
Man, that's what I'm talking
Bring
about.
your brother in. Come
black
on.
Excellence.
You know I'm in H-Town now. I need a little
give
help.
me my button. That's it, baby. That's it. I'm always talking about black excellence. I'm going to call you too, man. So, you told me a story about where you were when y'all got the word that Pimp C had died. You were on the bus. Kind of run through that.
Be honest with you, it's very vague.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know who you were with.
the world stopped, though.
Didn't it?
The world just stopped. Because you like, you start making calls. Hey. And the first couple hours, people like, nah, we don't know.
Fake news.
Yeah. But then when it hit, it's like, what? And honestly, just the blur after that.
Who on the bus got the phone call?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
So what you told me, if just correct me if I'm
Because you got
incorrect.
COVID brain, bro. I'm
You were with Face.
That's right, because we did the album where we were on a promo tour in Detroit. That's right.
You told me he canceled the promo tour as soon as y'all got word.
Yep.
Do you remember now?
Yep. Shout out to Shanita Floyd.
Where were y'all? So you were in what state?
We were in the Midwest, and Face, which I didn't know at the time. Now, mind you, Face is one of my guys. Like, aside from leaving Nemesis, me stopping rapping, Scarface, Bun B, DOC. Like, obviously, Bumblebee, and then God bless Ricardo Royale.
That's one.
Woo! Like, I can't rap. I can't out-rap those five brothers. Let me go on over here and carry this briefcase.
They the ones say, man, let me go do something else.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, Rick was my rap coach.
Say, do you remember being around Scarface and then when we were young?
Dude.
And then when they were driving those old Model T.
Dude, shout out to Rap a Lot, dude.
Man,
They like
Rap a Lot. What's my boy
Chief
name? Chief, Big
Chief.
Chief.
And Jaye. Like, and they was always just solid brothers, man. We always we laugh, we talk about Dallas and Houston relationship. And I said, dude, like, if y'all know them cats, like we know them cats, it's a different kind of conversation.
Exactly. I saw Chief when I went down to the rodeo. I said, Chief, you don't even remember me. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I told him who I was, the smile on his face was like, bro, Nemesis?
Yeah.
Nemesis? I said, yes, sir. And so that was...
Because we were the only guys that had the same kind of hustle they had.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. It pretty much mirrored each other.
Yeah.
Until that Mind Playing Tricks came out.
Yeah. And then by the time, you get to Asylum and Face is putting out solo albums and I'm working the records and he's like,
what you doing on this side of the street?
He's like, we're spiritual brothers in Islam. He's like, what's up? I'm like, yo, bro, like, listen, I'm here, whatever you need. But like, I didn't know he played all them instruments.
I didn't either, bro.
So we went to Chicago. We had a studio session for the playback, and he requested that we have all the instruments set up, and he went and played
each one.
I was like, my mouth's open. So then we get to Detroit, and we had the same thing. So somewhere between Chicago, Detroit, and getting back to New York, when we got the news, and that was the end of the promo tour. But the few dates that we had, man, like just my respect for him quintupled.
Yes,
because I didn't know just how talented DJ Action was.
DJ Action is an animal, and I didn't know until later on in his career when first time I noticed it when he picked up that guitar.
Yeah.
So what's this brother doing now?
Yeah.
He's doing the Lil Wayne.
Right. So you talking about like 5 years ago? This was
no. This was around the time.
Okay, about 10 years ago. Yeah, 10, 20 years ago.
Right before Chad died.
Yeah.
I was like, what's he doing with that guitar?
Yeah.
And to come find out, like I say, he could play multiple instruments.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about him.
Or the face is bad.
And
Mr. Scarface.
Matter of fact, I had Warren Lee on here.
Brother Mom. What?
Yeah, Warren Lee's been on here, and he talked about their coming up and their upbringing, and it's always been in them, bro. Oh, I'm working, bro.
Let's see.
I'm working, bro. Warren Lee talked about, of course, just like you said, DJ Action. He didn't know I was gonna go that far. I said, tell me about his rap career. Oh, wait a minute. He was a DJ first.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know that about Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
So, enough about the music. Let's talk about what's going on now in your life.
You know, I've always been, like I said, talk about pivoting because of my upbringing, you know, Cleveland to Dallas to college to LA, New York to LA, back to New York, down in Houston. So pivot. And, you know, I'm always kind of a bit of a loner. Like people say, well, you talk a lot. See, I'm you warm me up, I can go.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not the guy don't let me be the first person at the party. In the corner. Now that we got phones, I'm in the corner watching Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody I know shows up. But I say all that to say that having lifelong friends like you and like my guys from Cleveland and some of the guys I know here from Texas is always about, you know, a feeling of home for me. So one of the things I've done recently is I started a clothing company, which you're wearing, Alum Apparel, 214 Alum, www.alumapparel.com.
Nice. Dallas Cowboy color. Wait a minute. Rub that blue star. There we go.
And one of the short version is, being a alum of North Texas, I wanted to do something for the Alumni Association.
Beautiful.
And I wanted us to have our own gear. Long story short, couldn't make that happen. But a company was born. And so the motto was, no matter where you're from, you're alum. So we're doing tribute hoodies, T-shirts. When it comes back, we'll have beanies. This summer, we're going to have dry fit shirts that represent your hood. When you have on a shirt that says 214, does anybody have to ask where you're from?
No. You see, that's the one I wanted.
Your man got on Big D.
I like that.
You know what that is.
But you sure know what this is.
Right.
This is the original area code before 972 and down show before 469.
So what we're doing tributes to the places you call home.
Okay.
So we had area code tribute. So what I did, I started with my places, which is Cleveland and Ohio. So I have 216, I have 614, 513. And then I got a special DeLand for Cleveland. And the colors of the cities, the primary colors, like if we associate Cleveland with the Browns, so we use those colors. We associate Dallas with the Cowboys, so we use those colors. I got Houston, I got H-Town, 713, San Antonio, 212, 512, 202, no, 210, San Antonio, Austin, 512. For all of Texas. Okay. Then I got a city collection. So that's where the land comes in for Cleveland. Big D alum for Dallas. DF Dub for anybody in the Metroplex. I also have a Funky Town alum.
Really?
For my Fort Worth folks. Shout out to my man Jerome, JB Bumpus.
Shout out Funky Town. Do it. The funk.
I did a special tribute for all the Black Greek letter organizations, fraternities, and sororities. Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated 1906. So we got the black and gold, the pink and green, and red and white. We couldn't get the crimson and cream, so we kept the red and white. I checked in with my Kappas, I checked in with my Deltas. So we got the red and the white, we got the pink and green, the blue and the white for the blue fives. We got the gold and yellow for the SG Rose. We even got the Iotas. Okay, they were late to the party, but we got them in. No diss. I'm just saying,
they in there.
So we have that tribute collection, and then we just got the straight up alum, which is my OG. So red, green, black, purple, pink, blue alum apparel, And it's comfortable. You like the quality?
Yes. Yes. I don't keep moving this mic. I love it. It fits great. Great quality. I mean, this is one of them type of materials that you can what happened? Oh, you like the sleeve?
Sleeve. Hey, shout out to my partner, Fulfillment House out of Atlanta.
So tell me this. Did you design it all?
All the design. So I didn't actually do the art, but conceptualize the art. What I wanted was, because part of branding, right? And we'll get into that on the second half of this long ass podcast with Azim and my man.
That's okay. Wait a minute. Put him up on camera. You got him?
Yeah. So he's here? Oh.
There you go.
So part of the branding, right? So part of the branding is authenticity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't talk about being a college graduate, right? And then not stick in my head. So if you look at the lettering, come this way a little bit. Yeah, if you look at the lettering, those like collegiate font.
Exactly.
Right? And so that's part of it. And what I wanted, and I'm not gonna tell you where I stole the idea from, but where I brought the idea.
You just made it better. You made it better.
But I brought the idea from, I wanted the arc, right? Because initially it was alum apparel, all big. I said, no, we need something different. Even where the apparel is here.
Okay.
So shout out to my creative designer, James Logan Creative, who does all the design work. But we work together as a team, man. And honestly, my man Jarrell Allen from Fulfillment House is teaching me the business. I had the idea. And so when we talk about me being a marketer, marketing is idea and implementation. A lot of people sit around and dream and talk about what they're going to do.
Yep.
Super Tight TV is marketing because people thought about what they were going to do. But you actually looked up. I'm like, Bobo got a podcast. I mean, and
I told you I was going to do it.
and I said, listen, people don't know him like I know him. He's always been an entertainer. He's always been about radio, whatever. But to see you do it at this point. But the point is about marketing is about idea implementation.
Okay.
And so, shout out to my mentor, Sharon Hayward, who told me, listen, you can be a marketer, you just got to do it.
Okay.
So with the designs, I come up with what it is I want to do, what city it is, and James and Jarrell bring it together for me, and we put it out. So we've been having some challenges because, one, I want to stick with the OG colors. I want to stick with the OG area codes. But like New York has been the prop. I'm trying to get New York out next, right?
Yeah.
212. Mm-hmm. The New York I know is 212-718-516. Right? But now, right?
Stick with the originals.
917-6460.
Stick with your regular thing.
So stick with the original. But then like for Jersey, right? 201, the Garden State. I don't really know. And I lived there for 20 years. What's the Jersey color? Right?
I never thought
so
of
we're
that.
working on that. But the general principle is, I want people to enjoy the hoodie, enjoy the shirt, sleep in it, wear it, dress it up.
Y'all like them, fellas? Real comfortable.
Dress it up, dress it down. And, I personally think it's $100 million idea.
Come on. Speaking into existence.
Because there's an area code everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? There's a city everywhere. And so once I start to get down to all the little towns, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to do Chi-Town. We're going to do ATL.
Have you did Detroit yet?
So, funny story. I got some homies from Detroit. I got some homies from Detroit.
Talk about it.
That's my crew. Like our kids play together. Like we're pseudo godfathers to each other's kids, and we came together later in life, right? But we all moved to Houston around the same time, and so they're from Detroit. So my original, if you actually go to the website,
you better not put what I think you're gonna put on there.
If you go to the website, my original Dallas color.
Yeah.
An original Dallas tribute was D-Town.
There we go. Why you didn't do it? Because we had that first.
So hold on. So what I had to do, and listen, I'm a man of a certain age. So I said, let me just check with the youngsters, right? And so my youngin, shout out to our nephew, Rakim, he said, well, it could go either way. Dallas is D-Town in our era. But in this era, it's Triple D and Big D. So shout out to Triple D Gear, my man Toro. I actually called him when I got started, and he was having some challenges. He said, yo, man, I love to partner with you, but we got to do it when I get through what I'm doing. Now, he's doing his thing. So Dallas to the youngsters is Triple D or Big D, right? But when I put them up on the site, the Detroit folks went crazy.
You should have left it. Wait a minute. What did you put up on the site?
So I had the Dallas Cowboy colors,
Yeah.
but I had D-Town alum.
There you go.
And they were like, we're the original D-Town.
No, they're
and I'm
not.
like, so hold on. So I got some OGs from like some like the ex-president of Motown, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what do you think? He said, nah, well, you know, Zim, Detroit really is D-Town. I said, I thought y'all were Motor City. He said, yeah, but the hood is D-Town.
But since when though?
Since the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Like
I never knew that.
I didn't either. But I talked to my guy. So what I did, just kind of as a compromise, I said, we're going to claim Big D because that's what we are.
Okay.
We're known for that, right? And we're going to come up with the D-Town collection, but I got to get the colors right. So I'm talking to my Detroit folks. I said, so is it Red Wings? Is it Pistons? What is it? So
What y'all want to represent?
y'all got to make us. So
What did it say?
they haven't. So because this is what you'll see. You'll see cats with the Pistons hat on.
Yeah.
That's red, white, and blue. Right, primary color blue with the red and the white trim.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll also have on a red wing.
But that's how they do it now.
Right. And I'm like, so I can't.
It ain't no coordination.
And Jarrell, my partner at Fulfillment House, he's like, yo, there's too many colors. I can't we can't do it's too much. Like he shuts me down. So to even make that even more pertinent, shout out to my girl Angela Ransom, the president of the Black Alumni Network at the University of North Texas, because we have our first licensing deal with an organization from a school.
Yeah.
So we're actually about to roll out the Black Alumni Network
Ooh,
here
that's gonna be
for
big.
North Texas.
There you go.
And Jarrell, literally on my way here, he giving me fits. You know that's 4 colors, dog. I'm like, we talking about setup charge and all that, because everything, you know, everything is a fee.
It's a fee. That's right.
So like, you know, setup charge for this. I said, well, it's 2 colors. No, it's 4 colors. See, look, red, green, black. I'm like,
Well, that's right. Everything you had is something else.
so that's Alum Apparel. The other thing is my company.
Wait a minute. I got one more thing on the Lum Apparel.
Okay, yes, sir.
Because I'm going to really test your nuts.
Talk to me, bro.
Since we talked, pause.
I'm too old for pause. I know you. Look, I know you ain't gonna touch me, and I ain't gonna touch you. No
for
disrespect
real,
to those
for
who
real.
want to touch, but don't touch me.
But you got to, this social media era, you got to.
Hey man, I'm a grown ass man,
Thank you. And I'm a grown ass, and I'm secure.
and I believe everybody should believe
Ain't you
what they
married?
want. Huh? I'm married
With-
22 years.
How
This
many,
year.
how many kids you got?
3.
Okay. I got 4. Okay.
That don't mean nothing. It just
It don't mean nothing, but I'm telling y'all it means something.
it means something to me.
Yeah, it means something to us. So we is not.
No
Anyway,
disrespect. Like I said, I respect people's right to be who they want to be.
I want you to test one more thing out
Yes, sir.
on this apparel. Because I've always had this, and I'm glad you educated me on the Detroit situation. If you want to make another one for Dallas, but you going to ruffle their feathers again, I got another one.
What?
If you make another shirt like this to say the D,
See, no, that's Detroit. No, Detroit is absolutely the D.
Bush.
I only know Detroit is the D. That's where that was the argument. The argument was this. The argument was, I thought y'all was the D, and they're like,
Motor
no.
City.
I thought it was the D in Motor City. Said, no, we D Town. I'm like, nah. They're like, nah, dog, we the D. I'm like, tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna pull it down.
Damn. I guess you got to do stuff like that to make
What's not? Well,
a
listen.
bigger picture.
Check this out. Can't be a jack of all trades, master of none.
That's right.
This is what I want though. If you buy any other design or any other brand, support the home team.
I feel you.
And they're not expensive. They about to go up though. But they're not expensive in relation. And it's, again, if you know what Gildan is as a hoodie, you know it's a great quality sweater.
Good quality.
And again, it's home team. The other thing is this, getting to my foundation, which is called Behind and Beyond the Mic, which is an organization that I formed to give mentorships, to give just a helping hand to people who want to work behind the scenes.
Yes.
Because you got music school for musicians, right? You can go take voice lessons, you want to be a singer.
That's right.
You would go to production academy, be a producer. Who teaches you how to be an executive? And so what I'm doing is taking my 25 years of executive work and I'm lending my knowledge, my institutional knowledge to help people who want to get jobs, who know from day one they want to be behind the scenes.
Reaching
So
back.
high school students, 16 to 25 in college, reaching back. And we're trying to get to a point where we can provide scholarships. But every sale from Alum Apparel, we donate a portion of proceeds to the foundation.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so that part of the apparel is called Alums Care, which if you go on the website, www.alumapparel.com, check out Alums Care, which is on the website. We did a big breast cancer awareness tribute thing. We only raised like $500, but the company's only 5 months old.
Okay.
But the point is, we're inserting philanthropy into everything we do.
Good.
You know? So if you buy a hoodie, T-shirt, Scully,
Support.
you're supporting college students and educational efforts for people who need those opportunities.
Now, speaking that we're in Black History Month.
Yes, sir.
I watched an interview. I believe it was an interview on you.
On me?
Yes, yeah. Why back? Maybe it was last year sometime. And you made a statement that sat with me. It was a true statement. And I mentioned it on the show. The reporter or the interviewer said something about certain music being black music. And you said all music is black.
Yeah.
So you know where I'm going with that.
Mm-hmm.
Explain what you mean about. I know our generation know.
But no, I mean,
Think about the ones that don't.
what's
know.
understood don't need to be said.
I know.
All music is black music.
You got it, but we are in the era of what is it called? Critical race theory. They don't want to teach.
Well, I mean, it's
What
nothing
needs
to
to be
teach.
taught?
Right? Listen, from the slave call from the slaves on the boats
Mm-hmm.
coming to America, the tribal drum, the call and response of the field worker,
Mm-hmm.
the gospel choir, into the blues,
To the blues.
into jazz, into rock and roll, into hip hop, into R&B,
Yes.
into soul, into disco, into hip hop.
Think about it.
It's all black music.
And it's all documented if you just
It's all documented. We're not saying anything that's not true. Like
Yes.
it's documented.
Yes.
The beginnings of all American music is black music. Period, point blank, full stop, end of story. There's nothing else to talk about.
Not trying to sugarcoat anything, not trying to throw shade at anybody. It's just facts.
Yeah.
It's facts. So, man, like we said, we could just keep going on. And
I'm
on.
mad now, dog.
Why you mad?
Because we got to scrap like half of this interview and like we got to start over.
Stop. No.
We're going to come back. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it the right way.
What you talking about?
We're going to listen. I'm going to put some.
Let me ask you this, fellas. Was this not a good? I like this. Come on.
You know I'm about order, man. I can't like.
But see, somebody else tried to do me like this.
We
I'm
didn't even get off what we supposed to get off, right?
What do you mean?
We didn't talk about my company, the Alchemy Group, which is my
Talk
marketing
about
company. So
Talk about it.
part of what I'm doing with the Alchemy Group, which is my full-time job. You know, I'm the Chief Strategy Officer, CSO.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my man Ray J, who I heard that on the Breakfast Club the other day, and I thought I'd steal it. CSO, CSO, Chief Strategy Officer.
Okay.
And we'll get into it later, but the long story short is I'm not just a promotion guy. If you know my history, you know my story, you know what I do. I'm a music guy through and through. But part of what I do, what I'm doing now with the organization, with the company, is I'm trying to help boutique situations become bigger.
Yes.
You have a boutique label, you don't know anything about marketing, promotion, social media, A&R, any of those things, accounting. My job is to come in, assess your organization, say, you know what, you need help here, 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 and here.
Yeah.
And we pay for that. Helping putting together teams. You know what, you need a promotion team, or you need A&R admin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so my Rolodex is deep.
Yes.
So I'm just aggregating all my Rolodex and saying, hey, listen, this company could use your help. They could use your services. They have resources, you know, and I feel they're worthy. Let's get down. So that's what the Alchemy Group is.
Okay. So tell me this, based on that knowledge that you have and your extensive Rolodex, from you being a part of the fabric of Dallas hip hop and then branching out over the world and then looking back inward. I know it's hard to kind of pinpoint one thing, but kind of give your observation of what you think one of the hugest problems is with the Dallas market.
Well, I don't like to look at things as problems. I like to look at them as challenges and opportunities.
Okay.
So one of the challenges that we have is togetherness, but we've always had that.
Okay.
I mean, one thing I laugh about is a lot of people who actually have been successful in Dallas, guess where they're not from?
They're not from here.
right? So that's an institutional problem, right? And I can't even help with that because my kids were born in Jersey.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you know, and they live in Houston. So like what they know about Dallas is that their grandmother lives here and their aunt and their uncle live here, right? But what I'll say, the opportunity is, and shout out to DOC for the work he's doing in the community abroad, period. Shout out to the Queen, Miss Padu.
Yes.
And Cole Chris, my brother from another mother.
Cole Chris.
The work they're doing. And all the other cats who are around here doing stuff. Picasso,
Yes.
Big Daddy, from Vertigo DJs. And of course, you know, all the DJs and producers and rappers, et cetera, who are here. But what the city hasn't done, that Houston has done, that New Orleans has done, that Atlanta's done, that Miami's done, obviously New York and LA, haven't come together and pushed our biggest, our brightest to the front.
Yes. Do you think it's a fan? I don't want to put blame on anyone. You just think it's the city as a whole.
It's the city as a whole, and it's just. I mean, I don't mean, again, a good friend of mine. I'm not going to repeat what he said because I want you to keep your podcast. But a good friend of mine says that it's ingrained institutionally that black people in Dallas can't stick together, and
it's known.
And I'll leave it at that. And
but you know what? It's known throughout the industry, isn't it?
Yeah, and
That's
so
sad.
what I would challenge the city, and you know, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Not really big TikToker.
Either.
But I would challenge the city to invest in itself. The killings that have gone on the last couple of years, the shootouts, the jackings.
Yes.
Listen, it happens everywhere. So I'm not pointing. This is not the old man screaming, "Get off my lawn." This is saying self-preservation is the first law of nature. But self-preservation starts with love. You have to love yourself enough to want to take care of yourself.
That's real.
And we have a lack of love for ourselves and for each other. And the rich history of Dallas. I mean, think about Doc, think about Erica, think about us, right?
Yes.
Our success all came from outside of the city.
That's sad.
Right? And it's not, the city embraces us. Collectively, the city embraces Nemesis. I mean, again, Erica's the queen. Doc's the coldest that ever did it. You know, not very many people have one album and they're a Hall of Famer. You know
That's real. That's real.
But the culture of music and another big DJ here, I won't blast him out. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but guy who's open, he's out, he's outside, as they say. He said there's a lot of music in Dallas, there's no business.
I spoke with him yesterday.
Yeah, there's a lot of music in Dallas, and there's no business. And for me, as an individual who has always put Dallas on my back as a calling card, saying, "Listen, I am from Cleveland, Ohio, and I will rep Cleveland to the day I die because that's the city that made me."
Yes, sir.
Right?
Supposed to.
Right? But Dallas raised me. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be who I am without my matriculation in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
You know? And so I would just say that we need a group of like-minded individuals who understand their strengths and their weaknesses and their skill sets to pool their resources and not just push one or two to the front, but really form an institutional bond to where we can get everybody out.
There we go. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons, you may have heard me say this, but I'll keep saying it because everybody's not going to watch every video and every interview. But one of the main reasons we started this platform was to do just that. You know, our motto is "What Texas Connects," but it's more than just connecting with the rest of the world. It's our generation with the younger generation is trying to reach back and give some of that knowledge to some of these youngsters and kind of stop the cycle of BS that's been going on. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to put their foot in the sand and be like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's turn this ship around and at least get it steered in the right direction.
Yeah.
And that's our main goal. And having people like you, DOC, Dr. Rock, and I'm not finished. You know, I'm trying to Nippy. I'm trying to bring out everybody that has something to do with the success. How do I want to say it? Just anything to do with entertainment industry in Dallas. I gotta have them on the show. So people, because the youth, there's something in place in Dallas that the youth are saying, oh, the OGs didn't reach back. Well, this is your reference.
Right.
You can always go to YouTube, click through the videos, and find somebody like Azim that you can learn something from and learn your history, because a lot of people don't know. It's amazing. I mean, I don't even know if they know about Nemesis. How can you mention Dallas hip hop and not mention Nemesis? And I heard, and I don't want to get on radio, but this is one thing that I heard someone say. Shout out to my brother Rainwater, you know. But I heard him say this on a different podcast. He was unfamiliar with DOC's music. He's young. But think about what he said though. Think about what he said. Because that's the look I gave. And the guy in the interview, shout out to Boss Talk, he said, you don't know about the formula? He said, nah, I never. He said,
He from here?
yeah. But you know what he did say to make a lot of sense? Why is our radio station still not playing that? He said, if you go anywhere, any place else in the country, their songs and their OGs get played. Just, I'm not saying continuously or in rotation. But bro, you got to play DOC. You got to play a Nemesis. You got to play a Bitch Get Up Off Me. You got to play a Pookie and Lucha. It's only maybe 20 songs throughout the history of hip hop in Dallas that should be always in monthly rotation. I'm not saying put it in full rotation, but to remind the generation that they have something to look up to.
Right.
That there was hip hop here before they even started. Because right now they don't know.
Is Lincoln High School still doing a radio program?
Who?
Lincoln High School.
I don't know. I need to reach out, don't I?
Yeah, there's a lot of education that needs to happen. I think that again, just the opportunity, man. You gotta want it though,
yes.
Right? And it is incumbent upon us, the keepers of the culture,
yes,
to give it freely.
Yes,
but
not charge.
But you also have to ask for it.
Yes, that's the
right. Like
do y'all hear this, man?
Game is free, but you gotta get in line. Like this ain't Uber Eats with the game. Like you gotta at least get in line.
Come on, man. Let me tell you something. If you're about to start yourself, I mean, this kind of an asinine thing to say, but say you're at a budding part of starting a Fortune 500 company. It ends up being a Fortune 500 company. I'm pretty sure you're going to do a little research.
You're going to line up all the experts.
You know what I'm saying? You're at least going to research the field you're going into, right? Why are y'all not researching? I mean, because it's there. That's
well, so now I'm going to play devil's advocate because I do talk to a lot of young people, and they're going to say they do, and we know they don't, but I'm just going to say they do.
So I reached out. No, you didn't.
Right. Listen, trust me, I know. And there's a couple, right? Shout out to Rock and Mel Jabbar and his whole crew. Young boys getting it on. Right? There's some guys here. I get calls from some A&R guys that I know. Shout out to Naeem Ali from Universal Music Group, who keeps his finger on the pulse in Dallas and weekly says to me, Zine, man, why ain't you got this, and this? And I said, bro, listen, I'm only one man.
Yeah.
And be clear, I know what my skill set is.
Yes.
Right? I don't have the patience or the time.
That's the thing.
To
this is a different animal.
To babysit.
Dallas is a different animal, baby. That's what you're gonna have to do.
Yeah. I don't but I'll say this. The right artist, the right mentality, the right crew, you can get some people to put their arms around it. And listen, radio's great, and we should do a whole streaming versus radio panel.
Yes.
Let's hold up a conversation. But the point is, there's a way to level up an artist here.
Yes.
There's a way to maximize the opportunity that's here.
Yes.
And we gotta dig in.
I'm with you. I need you to sharpen my steel, my iron. Tell me, if we on the right path of trying to help people, because that's all we want to do. I feel like I'm a servant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have a servant type of heart, and I want to help. I want that to be my legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want people to say, well, you know, that Bobo, at least he did try. You know what I mean? So that's all I want. I don't want the accolades. I don't want no awards. I don't want y'all to keep walking around here calling me a legend. I mean, I'm just a regular human being.
Yeah.
That's trying to help.
Here to serve.
That's it. That's it, man, because I have a godly servant heart, and I just really want to reiterate that. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, this is a platform. There are thousands of podcasts, and
yes.
And the right smart artists will aggregate all those podcasts and get on as many platforms as they can, and use that platform to get their music out. It's a shame that people just don't. You know, you got to come ready.
That's right.
And you got to be ready for the criticism as well as the praise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll often talk about the fact that we're in an industry where if I tell you what you're doing is great, you love me. The minute I criticize you, I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're a hater.
I'm like, well, as a good friend of mine always says, she says, if your music or your man needs explaining, maybe it's not that good.
Oh, say that again.
She said, if your music or your man, or a woman in this case, needs explaining, it's probably not that good.
That's real. Bars.
Yeah. And that's not to diss anybody, and that's not to say that you can't grow, right? But you got to be able to take criticism and go back and reshape what you're doing, especially from somebody who has a different. I won't even say success.
Yes,
somebody who has a different opinion than yours.
You said something really important earlier, and I want people to hang on every word that you say because you are so knowledgeable. But I'm picking up everything and that I try to use throughout my life. I just had a brain fart just like you.
See? It's getting old. See, we're getting old, man.
No, we ain't getting old.
You're letting your grades hang.
I know what it is. I know what it is. It takes a real man. Everybody can know their strengths. Mm-hmm. It takes a real man to realize what his weaknesses are and accept those and be able to accept help where you're weak. I learned that around 2003. You got to know. I mean, ask for help.
Right, but you listen. You only learn from failure.
Yes.
Who wins and goes, wow, we can learn from that.
Yes, for real. I'm just gonna keep doing that if I'm winning. Yeah, you
learn from failure. You learn. You know what? Let me tweak this. Let me fix that.
I don't want to go down that road again.
Yeah, you know, if I do go down that road, maybe send somebody else first. Make sure the coast is clear.
The raw taster,
right?
Say, do me a favor, Azim. Give me some shout outs, brother.
I mean, I think I shout out everybody, but I'm gonna go from the top all the way to the bottom. Right, start with God. For all praise due to Allah. For all my blessings flow. My mother, Azim Rashid, and my pops, Lawrence, and my stepmother, Dorothy, who have given me, 50 plus years of love. Also, almost my birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
My sisters and brothers, Anwar, Tahira, Mary Elizabeth, as she's called now.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher and Carlos and Shamia, and all my nieces and nephews. UNT, Berkner High School.
Yeah.
Hamilton Park, Hope Hemp, Plano Peas, for those who remember them. Oak Cliff, man. Listen, I'm more associated with Oak Cliff than I am Cleveland, Ohio. And shout out to the land. Shout out to DJ Johnny O. Shout out to my first rap teacher, the infamous, the world famous, well, the DJ is DJ Johnny O, but what's his name? I forgot. You guys see? That's why we have to cut this up because I can't. I'm forgetting.
That's okay.
MC Chill, damn it!
I'm cold with it.
The world MC. No, his name was MC Chill.
Okay.
The world famous MC Chill was my first rap coach up in Lee Harvard in Cleveland. My boy Big Hef, Midwest Fresh. My homies Reggie, Gary, Larry, Brandell, Steve from the land. Nisi D. Listen, I would be torn apart if I did not talk about my wife.
Boy,
the queen.
You will be torn apart when you get home.
She don't listen to that kind of stuff. But no, my wife, and and my three beautiful children, my purpose, man.
There you go.
Like that's my purpose. And you and this crew here, man, the city of Dallas, like,
Come on.
it's a lot, man.
It's too many to name.
All the labels, all the artists, all the managers, all the naysayers, all the doubters, all the supporters. I learn from everything and everybody. But most importantly, man, shout out to the strivers, the people who have nothing but their work ethic and their heart and their strength to get them through. Because I'm a walking, living example.
It's real.
That if you strive, you work, you leave it on the floor,
Y'all know what that mean, right? Leave it all on the court, baby.
Leave it on the court.
That's it, man. You should be dead tired at the end of the day.
Listen, as my uncle Mkgt says, if you can go out and do something after the game, you ain't play hard enough.
For real. I'm gonna work out after the game. Bullshit.
Right.
You should be gassed.
You should be gassed.
That's real, man.
My man Chris Clay from the International Internet Broadcasters Alliance, all the radio DJs. Baby, what up? Steve Nice.
Baby, Steve
Big
Nice.
Bink, DJ Smooth.
With a VE.
With a VE.
Mm-hmm.
Chaotic. I mean, I got, I've been here for
your Rolodex is deep.
My Rolodex is deep. You know what I'm saying? No, real talk. Just the city of Dallas and everybody here. Trina Terrell, James, everybody here. Dallas Mavericks, the Cowboys. Come on, Jerry. Let's get it together, brother.
Come on, bro.
Kellen Moore. That was good. That was a good move.
That was
a good move. I'm still not paying my fees yet, though.
I'm just saying, man, the best move was getting rid of him.
I said I was boss. Listen, Jerry.
A boss move.
He's listening.
A boss move. Question.
Yes, sir.
This is my last question because we're talking about sports.
We got my birthday, 8 minutes. Let's keep going to my birthday.
Let's go, baby.
I need a birthday shout out.
You're being from Cleveland.
Yes.
Have you ever met the King?
Yes, I have.
What?
Yes, I have.
How was that experience?
He's a great guy, man.
I am a huge fan.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he knows my face when he sees me because I've been around him multiple times.
Good.
First time I met him was with Mike Kaiser, opening night, Cowboy Stadium. I'm a season ticket holder, which is why I'm not paying my fees until we win some more games. I gotta pay the fees, get the tickets. But long story short, we're at the game. I'm walking through the concessions. I see Mike Kaiser, who was my boss at the time. I'm like, "What you doing here?" He said, "What you doing here?" I said, "It's my house."
Oh, for real?
He's from New York. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but he's from New York. He said, "Yo, come with me." And I had a program director with me, and we go. Kaiser rolls big, hit the suites. Said, "Just chill out." Walk in. I'm like, "Oh snap!"
I say it's chill out.
I'm like, "Oh." So it's Mav, it's Brian, Mav, Randy, security, a bunch of other guys, whatever. Didn't know Brian was a Cowboy fan. Meet him, talk to him, whatever. We laugh. After the game, we go on the field. I got footage. We play football on the field.
Yeah.
Well, nine. But
it's crazy.
His team, his agent, Rich Paul, was running a record label. They had an entertainment label at the time.
Really?
At Atlantic. Al Fats, remember that record? It's the Fat Al.
Yeah.
The Cleveland homie. So that's how I met Rich and Duck and all those guys. So just over the years, just in and out, nothing heavy. Like I said, we're not friends. But just, he don't, in my presence, I've seen him do nothing but be the person that everybody says he is. And, shout out to him for that record. He deserves it. Just a kid from Akron, dog.
Being from both eras, who's the GOAT?
Come on, dog.
I don't know.
Heavy as the head, brother. 10 finals appearances, 3 different teams.
Talk on it.
Most points ever. Top 5 assists.
No, number 3 in assists.
Top 3 assists.
There you go.
And counting.
Don't forget the rebounds. He's
But I'm gonna say this as well, because this is how we get into our rap piece, right?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is the predecessor, the prototype,
yes,
for Kobe, and Kobe is a prototype for LeBron. I say that to say that kings come and go.
Yes,
right.
This king just hanging around for a long time,
but they all wind up on the wall.
They do.
So Mike is the GOAT for what he did
in his era.
Kobe the GOAT for what he did in his era. And LeBron is the current GOAT and probably will be for a while because I don't see who's next.
I don't see him slowing down.
Well, not slowing down. Hey, the Father Time's undefeated.
Well, that's what I'm not saying.
Shout out Kenny Smith.
No, what I'm saying is this. You're 20 for Jordan.
Listen.
17.6 points a game.
27, 6, and 6. I get it. That's not even the debate. The debate is this. He's not what he was because he's just older. He's sitting out games the whole night.
LeBron.
Yeah.
I understand that. But he's still averaging 30 points a game.
Listen, bro. And if he's not the MVP, the NBA, something's wrong.
Yeah.
The year you get the scoring title.
I was a advocate of Luka Doncic winning MVP until that happened. When he won that I said, oh, how can they not give it to Bron?
Yeah.
How can they not? If you can give, what's the little kid name? Russell Westbrook, just for averaging a triple-double.
Yeah.
I mean, then he did it the next year. You didn't want to give it to him. It was special for the first year, but it wasn't special the second year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to get that to Bron.
Yeah.
He
should get another one.
MVP.
Yes, sir.
This guy. But I just hope and wish and pray that he wins another ring.
I think he got a shot. I mean, I don't know.
Not this year, but maybe in
Phoenix
the future.
just reloaded on him, so
God, that's ugly.
Hey, listen, man, it's competitive sports.
It is a super team.
Everybody want to win.
Everybody want to win. Say, people, I want to thank y'all again for tuning in to Super Tight TV. I got my brother, Mr. Azim Rashid, in the house.
Yes, sir.
Like I say, man, this ain't no interview, Azim. So don't worry about how it's gonna be chopped up. It's gonna be edited tastefully. This is not an interview. This was just a conversation.
It was a conversation.
That's all it is.
All over the place.
But you know what? That's how it is. I had somebody else call me and do what you tried to do earlier.
My radio coach would kill me right now if she heard this.
Don't worry about it.
One thought per break, Azim. Yes, man.
No. You just say I was with Bobo. He's all over the place.
He is. But we
ABA.
sound nuts. Can you agree we sound nuts?
Yeah, we do. But I want it to be. It makes for good internet. Internet gold. This is the internet gold.
I'm not there yet.
But you got we. It made me have.
Can I keep it 1 million with you right now?
Go ahead.
If I didn't have a product to push, I probably wouldn't be here.
Thank you. A lot of people from my generation would.
But listen what I'm saying. So
isn't that a trip how we think like that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. For me, if you didn't know that I was a rapper, you never would know that side of me.
No. That's
so
right.
all you would know about me now is the executive right?
side, yeah.
And so my job is to push other people to the front.
Yeah.
What I'm learning, shout out to Troy Marshall because he's my entrepreneurship coach.
Yeah.
What I'm learning in this digital media era, which I actually taught today at the class, was that, marketing is everyone's job. Mm-hmm. So if I'm the CSO of these organizations, and the CEO of the foundation, then I have to market.
They want to see you.
And I have to have something to say. So the reason I'm mad at the interview because I wasn't on message. Because if I was on message,
you got your message. He got his message across, right? We talked about the apparel, but we had to go through the history. Look at him.
And we did that inadequately.
He's so meticulous.
I am, and I'm just mad.
But that's
my
okay.
Birthday's in 2 minutes.
That's a happy birthday to a king.
And not yet. You got a minute and 12 seconds.
That's okay. So we're gonna talk for a minute and 12 seconds.
What they say? Y'all know what this means, right?
What's that mean?
That means stretch.
Stretch the time out.
Stretch. You got to stretch.
Get your finger off the button. He's so anxious and ready to hit that button. No. You good? Yeah, but see, we gotta celebrate this man's birthday on air.
Yes.
I mean, so what I'm gathering is this. I'm not gonna say this is your first, but is this close to being one of your first type of interviews like this?
I've done a couple. I did a podcast.
Okay.
Shout out to my boy Errol Porter for Voice It Radio in Cleveland. Happy belated birthday to my homeboy Robert Lee Hubbard, who was my oldest friend.
Yeah.
We met when we were 6 years old.
Robert Lee Hubbard, Cleveland, Ohio. Hell of a drummer. What's my brother's name? They used to. Oh, he gonna hate me. Speaking of brain force, from Dallas.
Here, Van Simmons.
Be
love down in Waco.
Already. Shout out to my man Van Simmons, man. I follow him on Facebook.
Yeah. Be love.
So yeah, this is a good, great content. You know what I mean? Because
no, bro, I had a brain fart on. I had a brain fart on Gerald Busby and MC Chill, two
That's
of my
okay.
guys.
Well, you want me to fix it? You want me to buff
Please.
it up? I'll buff it up for you.
Buff that up.
I'll buff that up for you so it'll go.
Put some makeup on my head too. No,
No,
shiny
you looking
bright.
good. No, you looking good, bro. Wait a minute. Come on, bro. That other race can look real bad at this age.
Shh. No, I got that blood in me. Relax.
Hey, you do?
Yeah,
Everybody.
a lot of it. You see my dad? You never see my father?
I could.
You see him nicer?
With the green eye.
Onward.
Yes.
You think they just
No. Well, my wife's family is from Ohio.
right?
And they're fair complected.
Because
I just assumed that most people up there were like that.
No. That's that South coming north.
Okay.
Ohio. So on the migration transition, me being a history nerd again. See, I told you I was a nerd. So the Great Migration, people from Alabama specifically went to Ohio and Michigan, and a lot of them were mixed race. A lot of people from Mississippi went to Chicago.
Okay.
Carolina folks went to New York.
That's right.
So that's where you got that thing.
That's
And I always laugh at my friends from New York, and one of them knows what I'm talking about, because they like one generation from being from the South, right?
I know they are.
And then when we were growing up, again, when I was in Cleveland, we would say we were
Country.
going down south for the summer, right?
Yes.
Well, down south meant Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, the Carolinas.
I know it. And no one talked about Texas.
Nobody was from Texas. Wow. Y'all know y'all different.
We are different. We got a good California connection.
And I was going to say, the Texans went to California.
Yes. They went to
Shout out
California.
to Joe Mack.
Dirty Mac. Say, check this out. I got to say a happy birthday to a real one.
Yes, sir.
It's 12:01.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday to a king.
My guy.
I got my man.
Yes, sir.
MC Azim,
Yes, sir.
better known as
Gino Def.
no.
Lawrence Azim Rashid.
Lawrence Azim Rashid, because that's what we pushing right now.
Be clear.
Let's be clear.
The Alchemy Group Entertainment, Alum Apparel, and Behind and Beyond the Mic.
You can still do it. You can still do it.
Absolutely.
When the last time you rode around? Just to be doing something.
I doodled a few months
Okay,
ago.
I know it. It's in you, ain't it?
But I'm never getting back on the mic.
I know that,
Be
but
very
it's
clear.
in you though.
Be very clear.
So I was gonna say this. This is why I asked you that. The MC is gone.
Now I'll spit a Jay-Z lyric all day. but
So
I'm
the
not
MC is
rapping.
gone.
Azim's gone.
Oh shit.
He's retired.
Nah, he thought I'd get you to rap.
No.
No. You couldn't get me to rap.
International Hub, I told you so. 4040's out in Tokyo, Singapore. Listen,
Oh, he
all
still
that
got
from
the flow.
Stinking Road. That's Jay-Z, man. I can do Hub all day.
Already,
That's
baby.
my guy.
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
For real.
Rock him. Came through the door. I said it before. I never let the mic magnetize me no more.
You don't know nothing
He
about
was the
that.
Nemesis. Here I come, beware chumps. I'm bringing the bass stumps. They said that I couldn't do it, so I had to get into it. Swinging the swiftly for those who don't know me. The name's Azim spelled correctly. A to the Z to the I to the M. Step in the studio, gangsters and pranksters. My trip to the bank's getting paid in full. Now I'm gonna stand for less. I'm the sole surviving first son of the Nemesis.
Now what you gonna do? Now what your peers gonna say when they hear that?
They gonna know I'm a real MC.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Happy birthday, hip hop.
Happy
50, baby.
50th, man. And we were able to see it start. And we see it go through all the transitions that it's gone throughout the history of man. Say, check this out. I got my man, my brother, the myth, the legend, Mr. Azim Rashid is in the building. A real super tight guest.
Know I'ma get some game tuned in with super tight, yeah. I get the low from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.